Hiya pals, and welcome to my Manaslu gear guide, where I am talking about, examining and showing you all the things that I am taking on my upcoming expedition to the world's 8th highest mountain. Now, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. My name's Callum, I'm a mountaineer and aspiring mountain guide. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how I'm going to film the trip. Filming quite a sizable expedition like this, I don't think it's going to be particularly easy, which is why I am slightly over preparing in terms of what I'm taking, but also the options, the versatility and the flexibility and the items that I'm taking for how I'm going to film the trip, the trek, time in Kathmandu, the actual high altitude climbing, you know, what life in base camp is like. So I think I need a variety of different things in order to do that. So let's just get stuck in and we can talk about everything that's on this table. Let's start with the obvious stuff. So like, how am I actually going to capture this trip and what cameras am I going to use? Well, the cameras that I have in front of me, the main one that I'm going to use probably most often is this, and this is the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Now it's an action camera, but with the right accessories, it can be an extremely powerful and versatile main camera. So to complement the amazing camera that it is, I've added a couple of things. One is this utility frame that you can see that goes around the body of the camera. And what that does is that allows me to add accessories, mainly with cold shoes. The other main addition is this little adapter. And this little adapter is a power and audio adapter, which means that I can connect an external microphone like the one I'm using right now, the Rode Wireless ME. But yeah, it's a great wee camera. It does record up to 8K. It does record up to like 120 frames a second. So there's loads of versatility in terms of the types of shots. Because it's an action camera, you can have it in like wide action modes, or you can have it in straight linear vlog modes, which, you know, you don't really get with any other types of cameras. So this is going to be my main shooting camera. I also have my iPhone as a backup. Now my iPhone's getting a bit old. It's an iPhone XR, but it still shoots in 4K, and it's how I've been recording most of my videos on this channel for many, many years. Now, in addition, I also have my Insta360 X4, which is my 360 camera. And I really do love this camera. I think this will be the main camera of choice, particularly when going higher than base camp, because of its versatility and the fact that you don't need to frame your shots before you shoot them. You just hold it on its selfie stick and then you can reframe the shots later. Above base camp, actually, it's probably a good point, is that these two will probably work in conjunction. As I said, I think this will be the main one that I hold and that I move. And then because of the versatility of this action camera, what I've actually got for my helmet is a camera clip, and it's a magnetic quick clip. So all I'd need to do is I strip this camera back down to its original components. So you get rid of the frame, you get rid of the adapter, and then it just works exactly as it was like designed to do as an action camera, and that will be on my helmet. So the pairing of helmet and 360 on a selfie stick is probably how I'm going to film the majority of my trip above base camp, I think. Now, I have spare batteries for both of these cameras. I've got one additional battery each, which means I can always keep that on my person to make sure the batteries don't freeze, and it also gives me extra shooting time. This isn't a review of the cameras. I've done that in other videos, but it is to highlight that these will be my main cameras, and then I have my iPhone as well. Now, in terms of like the other accessories that I have to complement this, sound is a big one. Anyone who knows me and knows my day job will know that sound in particular is is a really, really important factor for me when it comes to filmmaking. And I have, again, I've got options. So the Rode Wireless ME is my wireless mic of choice. I think the sound quality is excellent. What I've also managed to do is pick up the Insta360 Mic Air, which is remarkably smaller than the Rode. And what this does is it only connects to my two Insta360 cameras, but it connects via Bluetooth, so not radio like the Rode. It also comes with loads of different attachments, chargers, various bits and bobs. Again, this isn't a full review video, but I can probably do that if it's of interest. But yeah, so I have two microphones, two wireless microphones, one which works on radio, one which works on Bluetooth. I then have my Sennheiser, is it the MK200, something like that, which is a little shotgun, mini shotgun microphone, which attaches to a cold shoe mount. So like this, for example, it just slips in there and it sits on top of the camera. That's probably how I'll use this most of the time, I think. When I'm not recording like pieces to camera, probably put this on. If I am doing more sort of me facing shots, I'll use one of the wireless mics. But yeah, loads of versatility and really good audio capabilities, especially with the 3 microphone options. And not forgetting that all of these cameras have inbuilt microphones these days, and the software that you get with them, you can do some quite advanced audio editing and noise reduction. But how do I actually use them? Well, I've got options again. So for the main camera, I've actually got 3 different tripod options. One is a GorillaPod, which my iPhone is currently sitting on. The other is this little sort of stretchy legged tripod. And then I also have an Insta360 multi-mount, which has like loads of versatility actually, because it can open up in different ways, and then it has tripod capabilities as well. So I have flexibility in how I'm going to use it. In terms of the 360, I have my small selfie stick, which is the one I'll probably use most often, which is why I have it currently attached to my leash. I've never used a leash with a selfie stick before, but that's because I've never been in an environment where the consequences of dropping it is catastrophic. So I'm definitely going to have this attached to my harness, and I'll have this in my hand just to make sure that if anything does happen to it, it's always attached to me in some way. I also have the 3-meter selfie stick, which is absolutely enormous, but yeah, it works the same way in that you can hold it, extend it, and if I ever do use this, I will make sure to attach the leash to it as well. So yeah, loads of different mounting options. In terms of like how you carry it, I have a few options as well. I've got my trusted Peak Designs clip, which is really good, especially for when I'm using my phone, because it has a thread in a perfect position to attach the mounting plate for that. And then I also have Insta360's magnetic clip, which is this little guy here, and it just sits in like that and then twists out. Really, really good, really safe, I've found it to be so far. It's never like accidentally fallen out, but now that I've said that, it probably will, touch wood. Yeah, I really like this, really good. It means you can have it on your backpack. So both of these work the same way in the sense that they attach to backpack straps, and then you can have your cameras sort of on your shoulder straps, which is how I like to do it. Couple of other key mentions is that I have a little bag of spares and what if stuff for like the Insta360 stuff. I also have a spare helmet mount for if my helmet mount breaks or falls off. Memory cards. I think I've overstocked memory cards. I have like a gigabyte and a half worth of memory cards in order to capture the amount of footage. I've worked out I get about 2.5 hours on each memory card for the 360, and I have 5 memory cards. I've worked out I can get about 8 hours worth of storage on this one, and again I have 5 memory cards. So loads of versatility in terms of what I'm capturing, what I'm shooting. The next key consideration is, how do you make sure everything stays charged? So I've got various battery banks. I've got my main ones are these anchors. I have 3 of these. They're 20,000 milliamps each, which for, you know, in real world money, that's maybe about 5 or 6 iPhone charges. So probably about 6 or 7 charges on each of these, and I have 3 of them. We have solar and generator power in base camp, so it means I can always keep these charged, and I can bring one of them up the mountain with me at any one time. These extra little batteries are for my boots. These are the thermic specific batteries. And then I have some AAAs. Now these are just for my head torch. One thing that you sometimes forget is that you need to replace your head torch batteries because they only last maybe like 10 hours. So, you know, I've got 40 batteries to make sure that I'm covered for the whole expedition. I then have a charger. This is my plug. It has 4 USB plugs on the face of it. So 3 USB-C, 1 USB-A, and then I have my world adapter. Nepal, it does use both of these, so the 3-prong round and then the 2-prong round, which is very European. I have seen both of them, and luckily this one you can attach them all together, so I can use either or, which is good. And then I have various charging cables, charging cable for my watch, enough USB-C, enough for the thermic, enough for also the batteries for my heated gloves as well. I think that's kind of it. I mean, I've got little carry pouches for things, for the microphones. You know, I've got little covers for the Insta360 X4. Truth be told, I never really use this actually, so, but it's handy in case I want to. The other notable mention on here is the drone. Now, in Nepal, you need a drone permit in order to fly your drone in protected areas such as national parks or areas of conservation. Manaslu and the Manaslu area falls under one of these areas, and you do need to apply for a permit in order to fly a drone. Now, these permits are horrendously expensive, which is why I haven't fully decided if I'm going to take my drone, because the idea of paying almost 7,000 US dollars, that's what it can be up to for a drone permit. I don't know if that makes sense to me. So I might take it, I might not. If I take it, I guess I've got the option. And if I don't take it, it means I'm not tempted to spend stupid money on a permit. However, if people are interested, it is the DJI Mini 4K. It's an ideal little drone. My consideration is that its maximum flight altitude apparently is only 4,000 meters. So again, our base camp's at 4.8. So how useful that'll be at that altitude, I have no idea. So it could just be a very annoying thing to carry and never use, or maybe I could use it and get away with it. I don't know. So I don't know is the honest answer. But that's it. That's my entire filming setup. I'm not carrying any lights. I know some people do, but I've got like lights on my phone. I've got a head torch. Yeah, I'm not going to carry any lights. This is it. I think I'm going to be okay with this. Of course, if you're watching this and you've got any thoughts or suggestions, please do leave us a comment. And of course, thank you ever so much for watching this series of videos. It's been a lot of fun being able to show everyone the different setups and all the clothes and equipment and high altitude stuff like my down suit. Yeah, it's been great fun showing everyone what these are, and it also has allowed me to get into a really good headspace to make sure that I know what I'm doing and I know how I'm going to do things when I'm on the mountain. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you after the trip and you'll be able to see all the fun and shenanigans and hopefully the summit of Manaslu. But yeah, thank you again. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one soon.